right, let's call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Livingston Parish Council, April 12, 2018. Miss Sandy? Oh, nope, let's do the invocation first. Mr. Bubba Harris?
Okay. We got brother Shane Mack gonna do the invocation.
Wayne.
I mean Wayne. I got Shane over there and Wayne out there.
I got a request.
Mics are everywhere.
I got a request. I can't do nothing about my councilman coming here last every time.
No, there we go.
No.
Yeah.
Unless he comes at all.
Let's pray, guys. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for
Your mercies and your grace, dear God. We thank you for the leaders of our parish. We pray that you give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, dear God, of the work that's set before them, dear Lord. Pray that you help and guide and lead them in the decision that's pleasing unto you, dear God. And Lord, that's best for our parish. We pray for our nation, our president, dear Heavenly Father. Lord, that each part of our government be drawn back to you. And we give you all the glory and the praise for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Talbot, will you sing the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Miss Sandy, now would you call the roll?
Mr. Ard.
Here.
Mr. Watson.
Here.
Mr. Garlinghouse.
here.
Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Harris.
Here.
Mr. Talbert.
Here.
Mr. Liddell.
Here.
Mr. Avery.
Here.
Mr. Mack.
Here.
All right. I'd like to remind everyone, if you have a cell phone, please mute it or turn it off. When we come to an item, if the public has any input, please come to the podium, state your name, your address, and we'll allow you your time to speak. All right. First thing, number 7, introduction of ordinance. Mr. Jim, you want to go over that?
Introduction of an ordinance to dissolve Rec District number 5 and to create Rec District 5 South and Rec District 7. 6 was already taken. And right now it's just introduction, so we'll come back at which meeting, Sandy? April 26th, and adopt it. I think it goes into effect May 1st. The outstanding debts of that district have been paid. The bonded indebtedness has been paid. Also contained in the ordinances of the, how do you say it legally, is the transfer of real property that will be in the boundaries of 5 South will go to 5 South. Any real property that will be in the boundaries of District 7 will be admitted to District 7.
All right. And this is just introduction.
Right.
So, get a motion for that. Motion by Mr. Avery, second by Mr. Lobel. Ms. Sandy, you call the vote.
I'll read it real fast.
All right.
This is going to be proposed ordinance 18-11. This is an ordinance providing for the dissolution of Recreation District 5 of the Parish of Livingston, State of Louisiana, and within the boundaries of the former district as set forth herein. The creation of Recreation District 5 South of the Parish of Livingston, State of Louisiana, and Recreation District number 7 of the Parish of Livingston, State of Louisiana, and to provide for other matters in connection therewith. The public hearing will be at 6 p.m. on April 26th.
Just one other thing. Your legal counsel made a great recommendation to us yesterday. And one of the things we didn't think about was you need to put staggered terms. And I'm not sure who all is on these districts, so forgive me if I'm not talking to the right people. I talked to 2 of y'all about this before, but the terms of the members need to be staggered. And so you had given us a list of 5 board members for each district. And rather than call you today at lunchtime and try to make you decide which one you wanted to be 1 year, 2 year, 3, we just picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want to change that before the ordinance is adopted, let me know. It's a minor change. We can just say, Tab is a 3 year and Shane's a 4 year instead of vice versa, like that.
Thank you, Jim.
You bet. Thank you.
I had a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote.
Mr. Ard.
Yes.
Mr. Wascom.
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Talbert.
Yes.
Mr. Liddell.
Yes.
Mr. Avery.
Yes.
Mr. Mack.
Yes.
All right. You ready? Got everybody here?
Everybody's coming, yes, sir.
All right, this time we're going to do a presentation, which will be recognize the Walker High School boys basketball team as the 2018 Class 5A state champion. Yeah, we'll get this first. You want to do your speech first? Then we'll do it.
All right, guys, I'm going to be a little long-winded tonight. I have to hurry everything right down. First of all, I'd like to say it from you. Man, I'm so proud of you guys. It was an amazing moment you gave us. And it was beautiful. I can't even put it into words. It was exciting, and just, I wanted to thank y'all for the moment that you gave us there. And I wrote some stuff down. I normally wing this kind of stuff, but much I wanted to say, and I figured I'd put more words. So I want to thank you for coming here this evening and allowing me and the board a chance to honor you. Ever since the game ended that night, I was thinking about how fortunate enough I get to have you guys here, and how amazing a season you gave to the city of Walker and the community. It would be easy for some people to say that the championship game wasn't your best game of the tournament. That your physical play and your ball handling was better in pretty much every game in the bracket. But I kind of take exception to that, because on the night when the easy shots just weren't falling, right there, just weren't going in, and the routine layups were anything but routine, you found a way in the chaos to make it happen. I mean, and that was amazing. How you perform on the court is so much more than the sum of the ball handling and shooting percentage. And it's about trusting your coaches, plan, and for the game, and about believing in yourself. And it's about having heart. Man, y'all just showed me y'all have a heart. It was just amazing. It was a joy to witness. And I know typically your coaches are the ones that give you those speeches, like, you get out there and do your best and, play from inside, And typically they'll say that kind of stuff to inspire you to do your best and to reach down within yourselves and grab a hold of that intangible thing that makes you unstoppable. I believe your coaches would agree that this is something you can't be taught. You can't teach that. It's a part of the essence of who you are. And when I was growing up, we used to call it the zone. They might still call it that, I don't know. But if you get in the zone, you're almost unstoppable. And it's hard to put yourself in the zone. You can't really do it. You just got to find your way there, and when you get there. You guys could have easily rolled over and gave up. You could have. You'd already gone further and accomplished more than any other boys team in Walker history. And by all standards, you were already winners. But as you know, all champions aren't winners, but all winners, all winners aren't champions, but all champions are winners. And you guys played like champions. Let's face it, losing to an extremely talented Landry Walker team, and they were very talented. That would have been successful with 4 out of 5 years, 4 championships in 5 years. It would have been considered by most people to be acceptable. Saying, what did you guys do? Y'all were saying the same thing. We saw what y'all saw, Well, when roughly 90 seconds left and down by 7, you went up and did something magic. It was magical. You didn't just win. You refused to lose. And there's a difference there, too. You went out there and you imposed your will on the other opponent. And I don't want to sound overly dramatic about this, but I need to say it from my heart. When you have a momentum shift in the game, typically over a few plays, over a period of time, but y'all's momentum shift in that game was like a hammer dropping. I mean, it was like bam, and I knew it. I felt it. Everybody, they felt it, and they felt it. And if you want proof, and I don't know if any of y'all have done this, go to NOLA.com and go to their broadcast. It's a radio broadcast, and I've listened. It's my favorite way to listen to the game. I listen to it because those guys had already cashed the check. And they were saying, that's over, they're going to get another one. And then when it happened, they sensed it. You know, I laugh because you listen to that, and the commentator and the color commentator is talking. He's like, uh-oh. When Jalen stole the ball, shot it in and got the +1, and it went from 7 to 4, like that. It was still up by 4, but they knew they were in trouble. I mean, it was, and only because you guys just had decided at that point we're going to play right now, and you did. I want to thank you guys for how y'all rose to the occasion, how you made me feel, in generations of Wildcat players and fans that were there in that moment. It was amazing. I was going to tell you, I was telling Jeff about this back there. As a side note, I think it's funny to mention, for the first half, me and the chairman were sitting by each other, and we were down toward the bottom row. And it was right there by Acadian, which happens to be here tonight. And they had their stretcher and their little emergency equipment right there. And I said, well, it's a good thing they're close. I said, because Eric might need them. Eric, my friend, it looked like Eric was going to have a heart attack at any moment, so we can jump down and clear the way for Eric. But he looked like he was in physical pain, man. I was feeling bad for you. Guys, you're gonna come to realize that the best part of all this experience isn't going to be that you, in the future, it's going to be that you won a state championship. It's going to be because you did it with the guys with you here now, your friends and basically your family, because that's what they are. Y'all are family, to each other. I remember back when I was a senior, and it was our last home game in football, and the coach had brought in a guest speaker, and I can't remember who it was, but I remember what he said, and it always stuck with me. And to oblige me for just a second more, I'll just share with you what he told me. He said, guys, and he kind of said, look, you stand up, he goes, look at the guy to your left, now look at the guy to your right. And he goes, years from now, whether you win tonight or lose, you're not going to remember. What you're going to remember is the guys in the room with you. That's who you're going to remember. And it's true. To win or loss, kind of a footnote. But those memories that you build, that's last a lifetime. He was spot on. Myself, Sarge, Eric Cook, we all did it together. And that's what you remember. The friendships you build, the loyalties you have to each other, those things, that's what's important. And don't ever lose sight of that. These guys are your family, and those are the things you're going to remember 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. How important that is, because that's important. It's everything. Congratulations, Coach Skiro, on the job you and your staff did. I mean, it was amazing. And I want to thank you for the win, but I also want to recognize that you actually won the 5A Coach of the Year award. That's amazing too. Thanks, guys, for all the hard work. I'm going to let Jeff talk.
Tracy's a long-winded one.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I really wanted to add, the people that went to school with us, our generation's starting to step up. We had city councilmen. There's 3 of us here that graduated from Walker. We even count students. Yeah, we do count them. Our sheriff, my little brother. So Anthony was a little brother growing up. So y'all's turn will be coming. So just remember that You know, we want y'all to stay in our community, come back, and continue this. Don't let it just end right here. And that's all I really had to add.
You want to do this first?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This says, Walker High School boys basketball, in recognition of your outstanding performance during the 2017-2018 season in the 5A state championship, presented by the Livingston. 2018.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're going to call them up one at a time.
Take one for y'all.
Hey, y'all don't mind, just real quick, just to add to what these guys are saying about our, this group of young men. Y'all, I mean, what they said was spot on, and how special they are. And like Tracy said, it wasn't just about the refusing to lose that game. It was the character these guys have, and that's what we're trying to build. And hopefully, I mean, throughout our parish, and especially within our community, it's the character these guys have. That's why they had that refuse to lose attitude when a lot of people could have rolled over and finish that game out, had a successful season, and just let it go. Their character that these young men have, and they've grown from their freshman year to now these seniors and even the younger guys coming along with them, is amazing. And that's number one thing I want to point out to everyone, is just the fact that they're not just basketball players. They don't just work hard on the court, but they're good young men that are with great character. And I mean, they're still teenage boys, but very few discipline issues out of these guys at school, within our community, things like that. So I just wanted to point that out, that it's not just good basketball players we have here. These are good young men. And I'm with Councilman Ard here. I hope they do stay, and a lot of these guys get involved in our community and our parish in the future.
All right, we'll call them up, each one at a time. They all pretty much say the same, just different names. The certificate of recognition. Livingston Parish Council does hereby wish to recognize the Walker High School boys basketball team for their hard work, perseverance, and achievement in capturing the 2018 Class 5A state championship. Congratulations on a job well done. First one,
Jalen Cook.
Maybe we'll get a picture of that in a minute.
Lee Davis. Sean Clark. Jordan Hopkins. Jalen Perkins. Josh Cook.
Got the Cook connection.
Yeah. Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas is also the most outstanding player of the championship game as well. Yeah, he wasn't bad. And Brian's only a freshman, so we hope to get another one.
Calvin Watson. Anthony Bell. Trenton Montgomery. Dolphin. Yeah, Dolphin Moore. DeAndre Ventress.
That's it.
He's representing.
Yeah, you just go and call the coaches up there.
First, we got Connor Locke, who's assistant coach, been with me for 7 years. Coach Eric Cook. We've got 2 boys playing on the team. And then we got Coach Donnie Goodson, who's been at Walker for 16 years now. Been at Walker, somewhere around there. Been at Walker for about 16 years. Yeah, we'd like to get a picture of you guys as a team. Where we did.
Yeah, just kind of, I guess, we line.
Yeah, we're just kind of
moving around.
spread around here.
Guys, y'all kind of come spread around here. We're going to get a picture. Y'all can Joe kind of hold you. I'm gonna get it out of the picture, man. Well, y'all slide in a little bit so make sure they can get a picture. Get in, Jay. Come on, man. This is a celebration. I mean, you don't have to be hard no more.
Yeah, smile. They be like, why are you smiling?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. One more. Hold on. We're used to it.
You taking a picture with your wallet?
Yes.
All right, guys, thank y'all.
Thank y'all for having us. I'm gonna take these 3 with me and I'll give them to those guys. Hey, appreciate the words too, man. That was awesome.
I didn't want Scooter to have to stand in front of them big old tall
That's what I
guys.
said. It's so quick. I didn't know what was on the podium.
Or either stand on top
Me and the
of
money,
Yeah.
stand on top of the
we
podium.
like the same height.
All right, number 9, adoption of the minutes of the March 22nd, 2018 regular meeting of the council. Motion by Mr. Garlinghouse, second by Mr. Watson. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, Parish President's report. Mark Harrell.
Parish President's report, Mr. Chairman, Council. We have nothing to report, but I want to say something on behalf of Mr. Rich. I'm going to use Mr. Garlinghouse's words he had just a few minutes ago. Take a minute to look at the person to your left and right and tell them you love them. Thank you. And that was from Mr. Layton.
Well, Now we move on to Office of Homeland Security Emergency Preparedness.
All right, sir. Thank you for having me, sir. Number one, as you all know, we have the Walker Safe Room that's kicked off, and we have two resolutions here tonight. The first one is a resolution authorizing the parish president to sign an agreement and negotiate with Gulf South Engineers and Testing for the geotechnical work for the Walker Safe Room. And
Isn't the safe house is being funded totally by the federal government and the city of Walker, correct?
the cost share, yes, sir.
Okay.
The rest of it's funded by the state, and Walker's handling everything else.
Okay, so on these resolutions, we were looking at this earlier. We can just make a motion to accept these resolutions and also let the parish president, in the sense of being expediting this, because this has been going on for a while, you have to come to us for every little thing. We just let the parish president sign off on that. I would make a motion that we accept these resolutions here, A and B, and then let the parish president sign off on everything. Because it's slowing the process up. The parish doesn't have any money involved in this. It's the federal government and the city of Walker. So
I second that. Adopt the resolution. Accept these two recommendations and add that it could just be signed off by the parish president.
Is that something we can do?
I mean, it's just to be clear, it's no money out of the parish's pocket.
Well, you know, I'm bringing everything to you. I like to cover all the bases, but yeah, Walker's the one that's obligated here. But the funding comes through the parish. So it would help and it would expedite.
We got
Can you state the motion again? All the time?
All right, motion to adopt, I guess A and B. You want me to read them? I can. Motion A, resolution authorizing the parish president to enter into contract negotiations and engineering services for the town of Walker, which is actually the city of Walker. Don't bring us back into a town.
I apologize.
That's okay. Community Safe Room Project for Livingston Parish as part of the Gustav Hurricane Ike Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. And item B, resolution authorizing the parish president to enter contract negotiations and agreement with Macklin Taylor Incorporated to perform land surveying services for the city of Walker Community Safe Room Project for Livingston Parish as part of the Gustav Ike Hazard Mitigation Program, and that authorizing the parish president to sign off on any further, request pertaining to the
Walker Safe.
Walker Safe.
All right. We got a motion by Mr. Garlinghouse, second by Mr. Watson. Call for the vote, Ms. Singh?
Yes, sir. Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris? Yes. Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Liddell?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes. All right, thank you. Then the next two, as you're aware, the first one is the Dunn Road improvement. That's already been approved. We're moving forward with it, but this is a technicality. So I'm asking for a resolution authorizing the parish to sign and execute the parish and state agreement for the Dunn Road improvement project.
You don't know what that's going to cost us. I mean, it looks like we pay everything but the 80%, right? And we pay the 20% max and then any engineering costs. So does anybody have any idea what that number is?
Do you know what the number might be? Right offhand, I don't.
You got a guesstimate?
I mean, that's all coming out of road fund money. So, I mean, the question is, does anybody know what the dollar amount is?
Yeah, I didn't worry about the car. I apologize. I should know that number.
I thought it was 153 some change.
And it didn't come in your packet?
This came
I think it is.
before you. I mean, this was,
This is just a
technicality. We've already
I think it is.
approved it.
both done and Leonard came to you guys a few months back. This is just the fair president's sign it, basically. We're not going to get the number for you.
No, that's the thing we got to do tonight.
I just wondered if anybody knew.
And right off, Mr. Talbot, I don't know. This is just a technicality that we have to put in our grant files, and they're moving forward with it, so.
All right.
You make the motion?
Yeah, I
Motion
did.
by Mr. King,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Garlinghouse. Sandy, call for the vote.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
All fees were.
Yes.
All right, and D
Engineering.
is basically the same thing, but the Linder Road project.
All right.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Garlinghouse, second by Mr. King. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you so much. And I think up next is,
That's going to be Mr. Stone. I'm going to wait till we get there.
All right. What else we got from Mr. Mock?
well, you have the two ordinances for the mitigation program, in case you have some questions on that. I just want to stay for that if you need me. If not, I don't head out. Two. Now, we have two that was approved, and we're doing a purchase now. I think I only have 2 or 3 more that has come back and applied, and they're going into the next batch. So these were the 2 that's hanging out over the river. We did an expedited deal for them. Let them move on with their life.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? Thank you all so much.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Harold. Appreciate it.
Love y'all.
Love you too, brother. Thank you.
All right, number 12, we are now entering a public hearing. This is for adoption of LP ordinance number 18-09, Hazard Mitigations Grant Program acquisition of 15951 Cypress Point Lane, French Settlement, Louisiana. Sandy, you read by title.
Proposed ordinance 1809, an ordinance to acquire movable property for the Parish of Livingston pursuant to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, project number 1792-063-0004, Livingston Parish. The property in question is 15951 Cypress Point Lane, French Settlement, Louisiana, 70733.
Is there any comment from the public on this? Any comment from the council? We're now closing the public hearing. I need to get a motion by Mr. Averitt, second by Mr. Lobel. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Number 13, we're now entering a public hearing. This is adoption of LP ordinance number 18-10, Hazard Mitigation Grant Program acquisition of 15957 Cypress Point Lane, French Settlement, Louisiana. Sandy, please read that title.
Proposed ordinance 18-10, an ordinance to acquire movable property for the Parish of Livingston pursuant to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, project number 1792-063-0004, Livingston Parish. Property in question, address is 15957 Cypress Point Lane, French Settlement, Louisiana, 70733.
Any comment from the public? Anything from the council? We're now closing the public hearing. Motion by Mr. Averitt, second by Mr. Mack. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, number 14, Planning Department. Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First on the agenda in the Planning Department is Holden Travel Plaza. Let me get to it and I'll read it verbatim. This is in Mr. Shane Mack's district. It's a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the preliminary site plan for Holden Travel Plaza. I might add that this is pretty much the same facility that they built there on Jubin Road, right there across from Jubin Crossing, that big gas station, so to speak. That's what's going to be.
It'd be nice right off the exit there in Holden, Louisiana.
Got a
Yep.
motion?
And Shane Mack's district.
Be able to collect a little sales tax out there in Holden, Louisiana. It's gonna be nice. Make that motion.
Sam,
Yes, sir.
so the access to the travel plaza is actually off Henry Norred Road?
Yes, sir.
Will the state still study the traffic impact at 441 with respect to turn lanes on the traffic impact study or not?
They will. They will do that.
I mean, the only reason I'm gonna tell y'all is that there was a certain store built, and based on the number of gas pumps, they calculate the traffic. And so they plumbed it all in for a certain number, and they put a smaller number amount. And so they didn't have to put the turn lane in but they were already plumbed, so as soon as the project was finished and everybody signed off on it, they added two more. They added the two pumps that were plumbed in the first place.
And when was that done, Gary?
About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, 2.5 years, something like
Well,
that.
they will, and I said it will be done, but it will be determined by the traffic engineer for the state whether or not, or what they're going to do.
Well, I guess what I'm gonna ask is that if at final inspection, if you see a spot for a gas pump and a gas pump's not there, it's coming. So just, just be aware that, it's something that people have learned, that if a turn lane gets too costly, they'll plumb it and set it up and then not put it in. And then as soon as the project's over, they come out.
I would hope they'd make us aware of that before we go out there for a final inspection.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
I understand
I've seen it.
I know what you're saying.
So, I just want to be sure that we don't get ourselves cheated on improvements to state highways in our area, because somebody, plays a trick on somebody else.
Right.
We got a motion by Mr. Mack, second by Mr. Watson. Sandy, we'll call that vote for that.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
Yes.
Mr. Greenhouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
Mr. Averett?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is Vacura Ventures preliminary site plan. This is in Mr. Tracy Girlinghouse's district, off of Jubin Road and Castle Road. It's in the Jubin Crossing development. It's a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the preliminary site plan. This is, from what I understand, 2 drive-through. I think one of them's going to be a Starbucks. I'm not really sure what the second one's going to be. I think it's going to be some kind of fast food. So that's pretty much all the information we have.
Yep. Also will generate some good sales tax revenue. But it'll be for the whole parish, because it's probably part of the Jubin?
It is.
Bills?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes.
Unlike Mr. Max, which solely helps the whole. Yeah.
We're gonna contribute.
So is that a motion from you?
That's a
guys?
motion, yes.
Motion from Mr. Girlinghouse, second from Mr. Harris. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Next on your agenda is a commercial development, Puma Construction's preliminary site plan. This is in Mr. Scooter King's or Mr. Gary Talbot's. It's right there close to both of them. I'm sure both of them will probably share the revenue there. But it's a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the preliminary site plan for Puma Construction.
Is that their are they building that next to where that lay-down yard is? Is that their lay-down yard right there?
Yes,
So this is their office building next to the lay-down yard?
that's right.
But all the new stuff gonna be asphalt or concrete, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we only give the exception on the lay-down
Yeah,
yard?
we didn't, yeah,
Okay.
just lay down.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Motion by Mr. Talbot, second by Mr. King. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Next on the agenda is also a commercial development, Live Oak High School baseball field, preliminary site plan. This is in Mr. Gary Talbot's district. As you read, it's a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the preliminary site plan for the Live Oak High School baseball field, contingent on getting the no objection letters, and we've got all the no objection letters in place. So we would ask for your approval.
Sam, were they adding parking for this, or is it just a facility?
No, they hadn't parking to it. if you
That's gonna all
remember,
be
this was a
asphalt.
question at first about whether they would hard surface it or limestone it, and they chose to hard surface it.
Okay, good. All right, I make the motion.
Gary, this is gonna be back behind the football field?
Yes.
Yeah, if you'll look right beside the softball field, that's part of the track complex right there behind the football field. And it backs up, that's the back
That's
part of
where
the
that
property.
parking was back there?
Yes.
So I guess we're past the days of just like mowing a field and putting down some lines,
Yeah.
throwing some
No,
lights in.
I think this thing calls for turf. I think they're turfing the whole thing. I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
that's what I say, we're well past those days, huh?
Yeah.
They turfing the whole field, Gary?
I think they all,
They're turfing the whole field.
they turf
One of the
infield,
first I've
outfield,
ever
the whole.
seen.
Everything, just like at Vanderbilt.
Well, then you don't have
See
to, I mean,
Vanderbilt field?
then you go out there and you,
Can't rain out.
well,
You can, but it gets slicker.
but what it does is it just, you get that company to come in every 2 or 3 years and fluff it. You know what I'm talking about? It's way easier to maintain instead of coaches having to go out there and cut it, because at Live Oak, they've been playing on the ballpark fields forever, so those guys have never had to really maintain baseball fields. And so, where some schools that have their facility on site, it's the responsibility of the coach and the team to maintain it, like at Walker.
Yeah.
Or parents or whatever, but Denham and Live Oak have had the luxury of playing at a rec fit facility, and so consequently, those coaches never had to deal with it. They don't have the equipment, or so I think the long-term benefit, they just chose to spend the money and turf
Up
it,
there at your Live Oak.
where they turf those infields.
Turf those fields, you're very nice.
It'll come to Springfield one day.
That's creeping toward the east side. Come on.
All right, motion by Mr. Talbot, second by Mr. King. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
I'm done.
15, Mr. Sam.
This is to introduce an ordinance to you guys, or you guys to introduce an ordinance to get rid of a bunch of non-necessary parts. And I set the list of stuff, there it is, in yellow, in front of each one of y'all. I think all y'all got it. We just cleaning house a little bit, getting rid of stuff that we don't use. A lot of these parts are obsolete. A lot of these trucks are done got obsolete. Vehicles got obsolete, tractors. So we're just getting rid of all of it, cleaning it up, bring it to the auction and sell it. Auction it off.
So is this an online? Is this an online
Yes,
auction?
that's what I read today. You know, that's the way they're gonna online or auction. So
Do we
you can
know where it's
online
going?
your. I
Do we
guess
know-
I don't know much about the auction process, but the way I understand it, you can do it online. You don't have to physically go out there and.
Are there any minimums set up on this stuff?
You talking about price? There again, I'm not familiar with the auction process, but I think there is a minimum that they start these things at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scooter was checking out that chrome stack pipe they got on the
Man,
back
I
there.
mean,
That's
Look good on that GMC, huh? Chevrolet, what do you
I
got?
got a Chevrolet.
You can go down the road, like the Little Red Express.
Should I get a motion for this? Motion by Mr. Harris, second by Mr. Mack. All in favor?
Read it fast.
Oh, yeah, I'm reading it. Yep.
This is the proposed ordinance 18-12, ordinance to close property equipment and lawn used for public purposes, provide for sale by internet sales and/or public auction, provide for terms of the sale. The public hearing is going to be on April 26th at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Sam.
Once again, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
You might want to do your.
Yep, and then we got an addendum also from Mr. Sam.
This is a change order on the Dunn Road project. We need to close in some of those ditches on the north side of this bridge so we can install these handrails properly. And I think it's $51.15 is the amount it's going to cost. You have $5,400, I think, on your agenda. But if you'll look in the back of your packet, you'll see where the actual cost is. And I think it's $51.15 to do the change order.
so what we need a motion Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Motion to accept the
Accept that change order.
Yes, sir.
All right, motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Mack. Is there any comment from the public on this? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Thank you, sir.
Passed. Let's give her oath to you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You get there. Boy, they got a big crane working over there. It must be 100 foot tall.
All right, this is number 16, adopt a resolution to authorize a waiver for allowance of a second address to be issued for a mobile home for a direct descending air on a lot that is 462.56 square feet short of the required 32,000 needed for the two addresses.
Is that a permanent address, Jeff, or is that going to go away at some point in time in the future?
Is Mr. Cole here?
That's the same one we talked about.
It's a permanent address.
This will be a permanent address.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Harris, second by Mr. Mack. Any comments from the public? Any from the council? Ms. Sandy, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Greenhouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
Mr. Averitt?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Motion passed. All right, 17, introduction of ordinance to create 2 three-way stops by adding signs at both intersections of Avocado Drive and what's that other one? Conifer and Arbor Walk subdivision. Mr. Avery.
And calling me about it and asked me if I could put up stop signs there.
Now you gotta be able to tell people about stop signs.
Well, like I said, I got a lot of kids in there.
Yeah, I know. We try and do what we can.
I know.
All you can do is hope people obey the law. And
I'm gonna make that motion.
tell my daughter-in-law
Sandy, you need to
that.
read by title?
She
This will be proposed ordinance 18-13. This is an ordinance to amend and reenact section 10-9 stop signs of the Code of Ordinances in and for the Parish of Livingston to add the 2 intersections at both ends of Conifer Drive and Avocado Drive. The public hearing is going to be April 26th at 6 p.m.
A motion by Mr. Avery.
I second.
Second by Mr. Girlinghouse. Any comment from the audience?
I have a question. When y'all put up a new stop sign, do y'all make it where it's got lights on it or something so people get used to it? Or do you just put up a stop sign and people go and have an accident before they realize it's there? You know what I'm trying to say?
When a police officer writes a ticket a couple times, they'll figure it.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be so simple to put one of those flashing light signs up and then remove it at a later date when people get used to the stop sign. But that's just a question.
But that would be
we have the flashing stop signs, do we, Mr. Sam? No, they're doing Ascension Parish, but we're not Ascension.
Well, I think what he was saying, we could have one temporary and we could move it wherever we
Temporary,
need
just
it.
move it around because
Makes
that
sense,
gives people
but-
used to it. Because when I drive down that road.
Right, I understand that, but the kids, a lot of these kids around here, they'd love to have a flashing stoplight sign in their bedrooms.
And other people can keep going. Yeah.
So you create.
That's the only thing that makes it bad.
When the people stopping,
Okay.
think that the next
Is
person
it
will stop and
freeway
run.
stop or is it
So that's
straight?
a motion by Mr. Avery and a second by Mr. Girlinghouse. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. All right, 18, introduction of ordinance to add 3-way stop signs in Live Oak Landing subdivision. Mr. Talbot.
Every intersection in there become a 3-way or 4-way stop in that particular subdivision. So, I think they're all 3-way, but basically it's going to be, every intersection there is going to be a stop sign. So basically, it's an effort to slow people down. And you know, as long as people abide by the stop signs, and it'll actually be, you know, it'll do the job. But those that roll through them, it'll create a more dangerous situation. I've explained that to them. So, I mean, but it was their decision to request this 3-way stops at 3 or 4-way stops at every location. I think it's 3-way. So I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Talbot, second by Mr. King. Sandy, read by title.
This will be proposed ordinance 18-14. This is an ordinance to amend and reenact section 10-9 stop signs of the Code of Ordinances in and for the Parish of Livingston to add the 2 intersections at both ends of Red Bud Lane and Alderley Lane. How do you say that? And to add intersections to Alderley Lane and Sylvan Court, Red Bud Lane and Bracken Lane, Red Bud Lane and Edgewood Circle. The public hearing is going to be at 6 p.m. on Thursday, April 26th.
Any comment from the public? Council? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. Number 20, correction of minutes from the March 8th.
Oh, you just went for that.
I didn't do that on purpose.
That's a great one to skip over there.
All right. 19, introduction of ordinance, creation of mosquito abatement board, District 2 and 3. Mr. Talbot, Mr. King.
This is just it's a follow-up to the, there was obviously a wish by the council not to move forward with a parish-wide mosquito abatement. And since Scooter and I tend to have probably the most densely populated, unincorporated areas of the parish, we decided that, we would ask the formal mosquito abatement board with the boundaries of our council district being the boundaries of the board. Now, as reapportionment occurs, there might be other councilmen that will be affected because the boundaries are going to stay the same forever. Unless they're amended, they won't move with the council district. They'll stay as they're outlined now. It creates the same situation, the ability to, ask permission for a millage or a fee, and then ask permission to have somebody else collect it for us. Same wording as the other ordinance. It just limits the boundaries to 2 and 3, and we chose to do it together because there's some economy in numbers. There's some specific regulations with respect to mosquito abatement districts that you've got to have a qualified, certified person run them, and so. If we each tried to set our own up, we would both have to have a person, in those particular areas. So there was some economy in putting them together, and so that was the reason behind doing it.
The areas are very similar.
So we'd just like to ask y'all's support and in the introduction of this ordinance.
I have a question of what you were saying. So logic dictates both of y'all's districts are probably going to shrink over time.
Yeah, over time.
But the area that you're collecting the millage from will stay the same.
Stay the same.
But they'll still get treated.
Whatever area. Basically, I guess what I'm saying is, like, for example, right now, typically, as reapportionment occurs, what's happened in Watson is the area gets further north.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
To accommodate. Or it might get further, your district
Just
might.
like the drainage district that me and you both
Right, so
represent.
what'll happen is over time, the boundaries that are established with this ordinance will stay the same forever. So if District 2 shrinks and District 1 expands into it, then you'll have some of your constituents that'll be part of the mosquito abatement.
Yeah.
But mosquito abatement will not follow the council districts.
Yeah.
Once the boundary is established, it'll be that boundary. And then until some funding source is voted on by the people, it'll be easy to, if somebody chose to request to, enter the district, the boundaries could easily be modified by the council without a vote of the people. However, if a funding source is developed, whatever that may be, and the people voted on that funding source, then they would to add to the district would require an election, just like the merger
Like if you
of the
wanted
sewer
it,
districts or whatever.
They just put it on the ballot and vote on it.
So I mean, it's the district can, even though it started as District 2 and 3, it's not limited to that. There will be the ability, if people in the future have a different opinion, there is an economy in numbers. Make no mistake about it. So in lieu of having to create another district somewhere else with a different overhead, it'd be more economical to add people to it if that was what was chosen at a later date. But given the fact that Scooter and I tend to have the like I said, the most densely populated unincorporated areas,
that we feel that our constituents are interested in having mosquito abatement, we're going to go ahead and try to service their needs.
But that's what I was saying though, but logic dictates y'all, over time, y'all's geographical area is going to shrink.
Yeah, but
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
I'm estimating right now that in 2 and 3, we have about 50,000 constituents.
Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't be but 14 in each district. There's 26,000 in Watson, you know,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I mean, so when you look
get
at it,
it.
when you look at it, I mean, our districts are gonna, and heck, I'm on the boundary of District 2. You know, I mean, my backyard is the boundary. So given the typical way it moves or whatever, it's gonna be hard I'm gonna be hard to be in District 2 after reapportionment. I make no mistake about it. You know, I mean, it's just the way things
Yeah,
are
my
going.
district may go further south. It'll take some of 2 and come down.
So I mean, it just depends. But I mean, the point I wanted to make is the boundaries aren't gonna change within the.
Right, it doesn't have to have a whole bunch of change every time we do a reapportionment and things like that, so.
I'd like to make the motion.
And I'd second.
Motion by Mr. Talbot, and second by Mr. King. Is there any comment from the public on this?
I have a question.
Same from the council.
I thought you guys was, yeah.
Caden Smith from 9295 North Street. By the way, purple martins eat their body weight in mosquitoes every day, so put up your purple martin houses and the mud martin houses. Those that build mud up in the house. I don't see anything wrong with somebody looking into and finding a solution to this. And if the people in that parish area are so willing to pay for it, it shouldn't be an issue. But we have a tendency to make decisions because it's just like your people don't want it because of the spray, and I understand that. But you're saying because your people don't want it, these people can't have it. So I just think it's a smart thing to do. If they want to take the adventure and go for it and do the research, and then it might be feasible at a later time that your people change and say, we want it because they get that hiding under that cast iron tub and the mosquitoes come through there and pick it up and fly off with it, they might change their mind, you know? So just a little thought.
Thank you. You're right. And that's,
I thought you were saying purple Martians. I mean, your shirt, because of your shirt.
If we have any purple Martians,
I was like,
send them my way.
I was going to say, well, look, I'd like to see that purple Martian.
that's very observant.
The purple Martian house.
Any more comments from the public?
Don't forget the bats.
But bats eat other bugs too.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about bats. I got it. I have a camp in Hodaye, and the subfloor and the attic have bats living in it. And I can't figure out which is worse: the mosquitoes biting you on the outside or dodging the bats at dusk and early in the morning.
Those are fun. Those are fun.
They'll scare you to death. You walking down the stairs and the bat's coming home in the morning on the way that you going fishing and the bat's coming home. It's an interesting combination.
That can get your blood flowing.
Get you ready to get in the boat.
I'm worried about my heart quitting.
You need some purple. You need some purple Martians, man.
All right, Mr. Wascom, you had a comment?
Yeah, if you create a mosquito abatement district for the current districts 2 and 3, is that correct?
Yes.
2 and 3. Then to do this, it's going to require some funding, some major money. Would you collect money from within those districts only?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it couldn't be.
I mean,
they would have to vote it in on themselves.
Okay, well, my question is, would you wind up taxing the businesses, the residents, the homeowners? Would you put it on their water bills? How are you going to fund a mosquito abatement district?
If Mr. Harrell was still here, he'd be telling you how he's helping us write a grant as soon as we make this thing legal. And then secondly, if you'd have listened to what Scooter and I have talked about the whole time, it's never our intention to ever put a tax on the ballot. And so,
That's not what I've heard.
Where have you heard where I said we put a tax on the ballot? Never asked to have a tax on the ballot.
Well, I mean, I've heard you mention different funding mechanisms, and taxes was one of them.
Well, ad valorem taxes or sales taxes. I mean, I think if you read John's article, it'll tell you that I'm not interested in ad valorem or sales tax, either one, to fund mosquito abatement. I was on the record from that from the beginning. I think a $3 a month fee, might be something we're interested in doing as long as we can find a mechanism to collect it. But because the most important thing about that is that it's equal across the board. I mean, what you're going to find out is if you'll go look at the history of this thing, John, you'll find out that people supported fees that are equal. What they're not in favor of is taxes that tend to be more burdensome on different socioeconomic, people. A sales tax is more burdensome on poor people. A property tax is more burdensome on rich people. And there's no reason for anything to be burdensome on one group or another more than the other. So consequently, a fee that would be equal to you or equal to me, not without respect of what size our house was or how much our property taxes was, and wasn't based on income, is the fairest way to do it. And we've talked about that from day one. So the only mechanism that we might even consider outside of grants is requesting a fee. But what we've got to do is find a solution to collect the fee. The problem that the mosquito abatement district had before was that they had a fee that they billed, but there was no mechanism for enforcement. And there were a certain group that paid and there were a certain group that didn't. And people tend to not pay when their neighbor isn't paying. And that was the problem with the funding source of the previous mosquito abatement district, is you couldn't count on the revenue. If they could have found a mechanism to enforce the collection of the $30 a year, we'd still have mosquito abatement today. So you don't have to worry about Scooter or I, either one, asking for an ad valorem or sales tax.
Okay, now, so you're not going to do it by taxing the property, but you're going to, I guess, you're going to call it a tax or a fee or whatever you want to call it. You're going to tie it to their water, everybody's water meter. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what we're going to do. We don't know yet. The board's going to decide that.
So, and then.
But we did say that if we chose to have the water company collect.
Well, that's what's in the ordinance. You said that they have the legal power to necessary to expedient means to collect, enforce collection of taxes, including contracting with waterworks, local districts.
Same thing the last one said.
Exactly.
Because if you don't put in there the ability to use the waterworks to collect it, you got to come back and amend the ordinance later.
So basically you're saying.
So basically that if we chose to put it on the water bill,
But we may.
then what would happen is if the board chose to do that, whenever time they chose to do it, then they would have to go to the people within that district and ask them to vote on, will you pay this fee and can we attach it to your water bill?
You know, Mr. Talbot, I'm going to say this. There's a bunch of municipalities in Livingston Parish. We have Denham Springs, Walker, Albany, Holden, French Settlement, Port Vincent, a lot of municipalities that have got together and incorporated in this parish, a group of people in this parish that have incorporated. And with that form of government, they have a mayor, they have city council members that together enforce, bring government involvement such as animal control, mosquito control, zoning is what you've been a big proponent for. I would think that the right thing to do would be for Watson to incorporate and start some type of municipality and let the local government, who has a mayor and a city council, which is lots of checks and balances in government who are close to the people in that area, perform these type of local things instead of one parish council member deciding from the whole area up there. So
let me ask you a question. You don't think Rec 3, is it Rec 3?
Yeah.
Do you think Rec 3 does a good job? Or do you think the city of Denham should have created a parks district and Rec 3 shouldn't exist? Do you think Gravity 1 does a good job? Or do you think that the city of Denham should handle it and everybody outside of it shouldn't have it?
I think Gravity 1
okay, so
does a good
it's
job.
the same deal. It's the same situation. We're creating an independent piece of government to collect a fee to implement a service. Just like Gravity 1, just like Gravity 2, just like Gravity 5. Just like Recreation 5 South, just like Recreation 7, just like Recreation 3, just like Recreation 2. It's the same entity. It's just like Fire District 4. I mean, we can name the independent entities of government. So don't tell me that the only way we can have mosquito abatement is if we get incorporated in what?
Well, it can be done. I don't doubt that.
See, that would leave me completely out of the whole equation.
Well,
because they're not going to incorporate 3 into Watson.
I'd like to call for the question.
I'm not finished talking. I'm not finished talking.
I'm going to call for the question.
I'm not finished.
That's it. Question's been called. We got it.
Just vote no.
Talbot,
No,
Talbot, you You call
So
for a
how are you
motion?
going to spray in that area and not let it drift over into other
John, the
people's
question's
area?
been called, we can't discuss it anymore.
That's the questions that need to be answered before you create
Question's
additional.
been called. Second by Mr. King. Ms. Sandy, read by title.
This is proposed ordinance 18-15. This is an ordinance providing for the creation of a mosquito abatement district and establish a board in council districts 2 and 3 in the parish of Livingston, state of Louisiana, comprising all that territory in the parish as set out herein, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. The public hearing will be on April 26th at 6 p.m.
Ms. Sandy, you call for a vote?
Mr. Ard,
Yes.
Mr. Wascom,
No.
Mr. Girlinghouse,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Talbert,
Yes.
Mr. Lobel,
Yes.
Mr. Averett,
Yes.
Mr. Mack.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Number 20, correction of minutes from the March 8, 2018 regular meeting of the Livingston Parish Council. LPR number 18-075, correction of gravity drainage district number 5, term expiration of Mr. Richard Harris and Mr. Robert Huffman. Minutes indicated that the expiration date was February 26th of 2023. The correct term expiration would be February 22nd of 2022. All right, motion, Mr. Averett on that.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Talbot. Is there any comment from the public? Any from the council? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. 21, board resignation and appointments. Livingston Parish Fire Protection District number 7, Mr. Averett.
For Fire District 7, and I want to appoint board member Justin Week.
We have to do them separate, Sandy?
Okay.
All right. So first, we're going to accept the resignation. Motion by Mr. Averett. Second by Mr. Harris. Any comments? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right. 21, appoint the new board member, Justin Wheat.
I'm good.
Yeah, I want to appoint Justin Week to the Fire District 7 co board.
All right. That's a motion by Mr. Averett. Second by Mr. Girlinghouse. Any comments from the public, from the council? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, 21B, we're going to table right now. All right, 22, adopt a resolution to name unnamed road off of Kane Market, Sunset View Court, located in Councilman Scooter King.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to do that.
All right, motion by Mr. King,
Right there
second
my
by
house.
Mr. Girlinghouse.
You don't want to do the other one too? while we do it?
Any comment from the public?
They
Any
didn't
from the
even
council?
call me or anything. All they did was put it on there.
All right. Ms. Sandy, call for the vote.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbert? Mr. Lobel? Mr. Averett?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
All right. 23, adopt a resolution to name unnamed road off of Clinton Allen Road, Joy Lane. Mr. Scooter King,
I'll make a motion to
make that
adopt
motion.
that. Yeah.
Second by Mr. Talbot. Any comment from the public?
That's the one with
Any from the council?
that they dug all the pipe out.
Ms. Sandy, call for the vote.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbert?
Yes.
Mr. Lobel?
Yes.
Mr. Averett?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
All right, 24, request for a waiver intended for the allowance of permitting due to the restrictions of LP number 17-22, section 13-46.1, prohibition and restriction of use for mobile home manufactured homes to be placed in the named subdivision for the 10 on-site custom-built single-family homes. And we have quite a few. Ms. Sandy's going to read them all, and we'll do them all at one time.
First one is from Michael Jackson, which is in District 8, Haynesville subdivision, 25480 Pardue Road, Springfield, Louisiana, 70462. The second is Michael Manning, District 8, Shelley O'Neill Estates, 31691 Shelton Drive, Springfield, Louisiana, 70462. Corey Ball, District 1, James Place subdivision, 25948 North Corbin Road, Walker, Louisiana, 70785. Charlie Thomas, District 9, Graceland subdivision, 31178 North Cafe Line Road, Albany, Louisiana, 70711. Justina Hedrick, District 9, Eastwood Estates, 28471 George White Road, Holden, Louisiana, 70744. Catherine Ballard, District 3, Netterville subdivision, 38150 Netterville Road, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726. Jesse Martinez, District 6, Oakwood subdivision, 14051 Oakwood Lane, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726. Deborah Lawrence, District 5, Brown Road Acres, 25875 John L. Lane, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726. James Ellard, District 6, Falcon Heights, 13216 Brown Road, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726. Last one.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Wasser, second by Mr. Gerlinghouse. Is there any comment from the public? Any from the council? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. All right. 25, District Attorney report. Nothing to report. 26, Committee report. Mr. Shane Mack?
Yeah,
Ordinance
I wanted to see if you guys wanted to have an ordinance committee meeting, maybe not next week, but the following week, maybe that Monday, Tuesday before our next council meeting. Is that possible? Say 6:30?
Good.
What day, do you have a date? Council meeting.
Be the 24th, be a Tuesday?
24th is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is the chamber open, Sandy?
On the 24th?
It's not that night. Oh, yeah, we have something here that night. That's it. Monday's okay, yeah.
Monday's good if it's okay with y'all.
I'm good.
Thanks.
Monday the 23rd?
We'll go 6.
Did you get here by?
What day, the 23rd or 4th?
23rd, Monday, April 23rd.
You don't want me to come to that, right?
Yes.
I can't.
Yes, you were a big help
We
last
don't want you
time.
nowhere around.
You really were.
What are we gonna
It's
talk
hard to
about?
believe,
Could you
but
got a
you
little heads up so we can,
Huh?
you got a little heads up on it? Is it gonna be
I
about
just
this?
want to finalize the pond ordinance, and then there's a, there's an ordinance that we need to talk about that we've kind of been in the works on, sewer treatment facilities, large sewer treatment facilities. And, I think we need to meet and talk about it.
Good. Sounds important.
Shane, I can't meet the 23rd.
Okay.
I'll take his spot.
We'll fill you in.
If Bubba can be here, I can be there, and we still got a forum.
I mean, I could do 24th or 25th.
But the place is full on 24th.
Okay.
When's the
23rd. Let's set it for the 23rd, and
That's
if
fine.
we need to change it or cancel it, we will.
That's fine.
Appreciate you guys.
While we're on the ordinance committee, Shane and the rest of the guys, I'm gonna ask if y'all will look back into this trailer mobile home ordinance. And the only reason I say that is I know people like me, Shane, Jeff,
I get them all.
Scooter, out where we're at, undoubtedly 20, 30 years ago, whenever you wanted to subdivide your land and sell it, you had to name it a subdivision. So this is just land that's along the side of a highway that got subdivided, and it's named a subdivision, and it's out in the middle of
So
nowhere.
they kick it out as needing a waiver.
Yeah, and these people are getting held up because they need a waiver. I mean, this is.
I think we can handle that pretty
just
quickly at
maybe
the ordinance committee. Just look at it and see.
Subdivision with a main entrance, some way to.
Well, is there a way that we could just pass a resolution where your district would be exempt from it?
No, no, because
I mean, I have.
no,
some
we have subdivisions that need the
I'm just saying
ordinance.
There's areas that we have
Yeah.
rural areas. We have rural areas that this is pertaining to that.
It didn't need
to. Where
to.
it's like a subdivision with a main entrance.
For instance,
You know-
one of mine tonight was
Yeah.
in a subdivision. So I went and looked at it, and there's several already in there.
Mine was in a subdivision.
There's
They're all in
7
a
or 8
subdivision,
other
and they
ones
wouldn't kick it to
already
us.
in there.
That's
so
the
we
thing.
can't tell this guy no.
Yeah.
Whenever
You have to have already in there.
yeah, they got a bunch of them already.
I'd look at
I think if we just
look
take
at it,
one
that's
little
all I'm
tweak, and
asking.
we'll keep from holding all these people up
just-
and tying up, 2 weeks on these
I mean,
guys.
there's a need for it in what y'all were
Oh,
considering a
absolutely.
subdivision.
Yeah.
But we have so much of this land that's the way they subdivided it.
Yeah, it's
already been
divided
Yeah, I mean, one
But
of
I
mine
think that's back
tonight
during
is
your
up
day.
449 all the way
Wasn't
up
that
by
during
my
police jury time when y'all did that?
Oh, no, we
It was
wouldn't do
before
anything
that?
like that.
Yeah, it was Bubba. It was Bubba's fault.
All
Look
right.
back
But
in
it's a
there.
good ordinance.
All
We
right.
need it. But we need to figure out how to make
Just
it work.
just a request. Thank you.
And
Mr. Gardenhouse,
we want to
Finance
talk about
Committee.
The Finance Committee met earlier today,
We also want to talk about
and I wouldn't.
some type of ordinance on houseboats
Never mind.
within Livingston Parish.
Never mind.
Absolutely.
So if the public can come, we sure would appreciate y'all's input.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Mr. Gardenhouse.
Motion to adjourn?
No. Finance Committee.
Finance Committee met earlier today. There was really no new news except that the post-flood projection, we're ahead of the post-flood projection for sales tax, which, we're not what we were, but we're better than we were. We're better than the projected amount, so that's good news. So that was about it.
Yep.
All right.
We asked about well, never mind. That don't matter. We'll talk about it next time, next month.
All right. 27, councilman comments?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
Save.
You believe this?
no, Bodine.
I would, it's gonna be short and sweet. I'd like to wish my daughter's team, the Kentucky Wildcats gymnastics team, on making it to the national championship this week. Good luck, kids.
Outstanding.
Well, kind of along those lines, got lots of the high school softball teams going to the playoffs. So they start this coming week. So
Maybe we'll get
wish
some more
them all
people
luck.
come
Get
visit
some more
us.
people.
That's
And
good.
one other thing, out of my neck of the woods, this is very popular. Thank you, Jeff. But we have a lot of strawberry farmers really local to me. These came from my neighbor in the back, Parish Farm. They're great berries. Support your local berry farmers. You got right out of Springfield, you got Landry Poche, you got Lenny Threaton, you got Lloyd Threaton, you got Harris Blahut Farms, which their berries are now in the Rouses. Most of the Rouses around here. Lenny Threaton is the strawberry king this year for the festival this weekend. Buy local. You got Frank Feckety.
Is that this weekend, the Strawberry Festival?
Strawberry Festival this weekend. Ponchatoula. Come see us.
Please hold off that 4 inches of rain, sir.
Yes, that's right. It's going to be a mess.
Mess.
All right.
But
I'll wear my hip boots.
Also, I'd like to wish the LSU gymnastics team good luck at the national championships also.
That's exciting. I see a lot of people watching it during the baseball games. They'll be like watching the gymnastics.
They're good.
Like, that's good.
Hopefully in 2 weeks I can bring up something.
Gallstone?
Two grand
Only scooters.
state championship in bowling. The boys 10, and the girl is 6.
Good luck.
All right. I got a motion to adjourn.
I'm gonna make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Averett, second by Mr. Lobel.
I ain't had it in a while.
Comments?
I have a question before you go there. Am I understanding we're having strawberry shortcake next meeting from this?
no, but look, if you
Gentlemen from
want
Ponchatoula?
strawberries, there ain't very many people here. Y'all come on back. I'll bring you some out. We got some extra. Here, come get these.
If we